I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't think I could locate Vuvuzela on a map. Do you guys know that? What? Oh, we're on? Hi, welcome to NSS, and this is the Reynolds Report. And I'm Dave Reynolds. Let's start with World Cup. Kind of took a turn for the bizarre yesterday with Uruguay's win over the Italian squad. Unfortunately, nobody's talking about the great soccer. All everyone is talking about is Suarez. He's very bitey, this guy. He's kind of like a vampire. You know, few things give people more pause than a human being biting another human being. It's primal. It's kind of a base act that reminds our species of its animal origins. It also happens to be a specialty of Suarez, who's got a mouthful of white teeth and an alleged taste for human flesh. Early this morning, FIFA, who's in a bit of a jam over this thing, officially charged Suarez with biting Italy defender Giorgio Chiellini. The organization could strip Uruguay of its best offensive player, who scored 2 decisive goals in its win over England last week. Here's the thing. This is the 3rd time this guy's done this. He was suspended in 2010 for 10 games for biting, and another 7 games last year for the same infraction. If he's gonna bite people, they should probably not let him play soccer. Just saying. This afternoon, first up, it's Nigeria and Argentina, and Bosnia versus Iran. Then later, it's Honduras and Switzerland, and Ecuador and France. Enjoy. Okay, to hockey for just a second here. Cuba Gooding Jr. is one of the NHL's most beloved celebrity fans, in that he shows up for pretty much everything, and he's still somewhat famous. But you know, a little bit of Cuba goes a long way. See Jerry Maguire, for instance. Hockey fans discovered that during the NHL Awards in Las Vegas last night. Cuba was a hot mess, some say drunk out of his mind. For instance, he asked Mark Messier and Adam Graves to make a reverse Oreo with him, double stuffed. What the what? Or he asked Mark Messier to take his hand off his posterior, twice, only he didn't use the word posterior. You know, not since Boat Trip have we witnessed something as misguided, ill-conceived, and completely addictive, featuring Cuba Gooding Jr. Awesome stuff. By the way, Sidney Crosby wins the Hart Trophy last night. Okay, got a story for you today about how sometimes sports and the law collide. In a ruling that could force sports teams to reassess how their mascots interact with spectators, the Missouri Supreme Court yesterday ordered a new trial for a Kansas City Royals fan who was injured by a hot dog tossed at a baseball game. Now, the state's highest court said in a unanimous ruling that a legal standard called the baseball rule, which protects teams from being sued over fans' injuries caused by events on the field, court, or rink, didn't apply to a mascot tossing hot dogs at fans in the stands. The state Supreme Court said that the risk of being injured by a tossed hot dog is not an inherent risk of watching a baseball game. I wonder if they made that ruling keeping a straight face. John Coomer of Overland Park, Kansas, said he was injured at a 2009 Royals game when the team's mascot, Slugger, threw a wrapped hot dog into the stands, striking Coomer in the head and injuring his eye. He's had 2 surgeries, including one to repair a detached retina. He was seeking compensation in excess of $20,000 from the team. Okay, many of us remember exactly where we were June 25th, 2009, the day that Michael Jackson, the king of pop, tragically passed away of cardiac arrest as a result of acute propofol intoxication at the hands of that wonderful human being, Dr. Conrad Murray. Pretty crazy to note that at the height of his popularity, say during the Thriller years, Michael Jackson made $70 million a year. In the 5 years since his death, he has made an incredible $700 million. Now, the King of Pop's legacy will continue to live on forever through more than just his music. For instance, for the first few decades of its existence, the Super Bowl halftime show was primarily an opportunity for college marching bands and up with people to strut their stuff. It was Jackson's spectacular performance at Super Bowl 27 in 1993 that started the tradition we still see today. One megastar, tons of hits, and gallons of confetti. Also, not to forget, Farrah Fawcett also passed away on this same day in 2009. All the boys in my grade 8 class had that poster in their bedroom. Farrah also went on to, by the way, make some pretty decent movies over the years. All right, we've been racking our brain around here, and we can't come up with a better reason to be patriotic than beer. Neither can Molson Canadian. The beer company is encouraging Canadians to embrace their inner A in honor of the Great White North's 147th birthday coming up. Just in time for Canada Day, Molson has set up a fridge which unlocks only when someone sings "O Canada." And there's no stumbling through or making mistakes in the tougher parts of the national anthem. The fridge buzzes if anybody messes it up. If you're Canadian, the ad will leave you feeling all warm and fuzzy like you just ate some maple syrup or something. If you're not Canadian, you may just be a little envious of us now. Okay, quick reminder that the Frank D'Angelo Band will be performing July 17th at the Mod Club here in Toronto. Bonus! First 50 people through the door receive an autographed CD Blu-ray combo pack of the album, Just Give Me One More Moment, and the Real Gangsters movie. Wow, got an incredible story and video to leave you with today. An Atlanta man is lucky to be alive after being hit by lightning that literally blew him out of his boots. The fella's name is Sean O'Connor, and he was getting ready to do some yard work Saturday. Just as he picked up the rake, and here's the quote, "I heard a loud crash. A few moments later, I was picking myself up off the ground. I had the taste of blood in my mouth. I noticed my leg was burning a little bit." O'Connor was home alone at the time, so it took him a bit to realize what had just happened. "My leg hairs were singed. I could smell the burnt hair. Nothing smells worse than that." He looked across the driveway and could see that his boots were on the other side. They were no longer on his feet, and one of them was even smoking. At that point, he realized he had just been hit by lightning. O'Connor called his wife and shot some cell phone video at the same time of his smoking boot and his bleeding tongue just to prove to his wife that he wasn't kidding. He seemed somewhat dazed in the video shot just moments after he came to. We'll see that in just a second. His wife urged him to go to the emergency room at the hospital right away. "In my mind, I'd survived a lightning strike, and I didn't think things could get any worse from there." Because a lightning strike interrupts your own heart's electrical system, it caused O'Connor's to beat irregularly. Doctors kept him overnight. His kids think he's pretty cool, and while he's taking the severity of it all in stride, he considers himself pretty lucky. O'Connor said doctors pointed out to him that lightning doesn't strike many people, about 1 in 700,000, and very few survive to tell the story like he did. Here's the awesome video.
It was a loud crash. It was like a clap.
Sean O'Connor was getting ready to do some yard work yesterday after work. The sun was out and he couldn't see or hear any thunder or lightning.
A few moments later, I was picking myself up off the ground. I had a taste of blood in my mouth. I noticed my leg was burning a little bit. Leg hairs were singed. I could smell the burnt hair. I looked across the driveway and I seen my boots over there. They were no longer on my feet, and one of them was smoking. At that point, I realized that I had just been hit by lightning.
He called his wife and shot this cell phone video to prove to her he wasn't kidding.
I don't see any other damage. I think I'm all right.
She urged him to go to the emergency room right away. Because a lightning strike interrupts your heart's own electrical system, it caused O'Connor's to beat irregularly. Doctors kept him overnight. His kids think he's pretty cool now, and while he realizes the severity of it all, he also takes it in stride.
By the way, Sidney Crosby jam on, jam on, jam on, jam on.